Hey guys, Ellie here from Ellie Draws Stuff. So, one of the things I'm going to talk about today is that my worst teacher that I ever had at my art school. And so, what I'm actually going to talk about first is this drawing that I'm doing for this background. So, this drawing, I am drawing my OC, Ellie, who is actually a My Little Pony OC, but I like drawing her as a human every once in a while. So that's going to be going on in the background. If you don't like listening to me talk, you can just mute it and then you can just watch me draw. So, I'm currently going to our college. I'm going to call it Artie, so I can protect the name of the school and also the name of, I'm also going to be changing the name of the person I'm talking about. I had this class called Advanced Drawing for Animation. And so I had a teacher, let's call him Ray. So the class started about 8 o'clock in the morning. And so, me being an overachiever and all, I always got there about 10 minutes early. So the first week was going okay. But at the end of the week, my teacher started showing up later and later and later. And then he finally comes in and says that he doesn't want to keep waking up so early in the morning, so we're just going to have class later. Meanwhile, this is actually illegal. And I'll get to the reasons why. At my school, you can't change the times of your classes because it disrupts all the schedules. You can't change the time of the class unless you go to the academic advisor for that program. Ray never talked to my academic advisor or the academic advisor for that program, like the general advisor. He didn't bother mentioning this to him. And he even told our class that don't talk to anybody about it. We don't want them to know. It was super sketchy. And so, another thing that was super bad was that he didn't know the material. And he didn't like the textbook that we got. Like, all of our textbooks are online. And so we don't have any paper copies. But he didn't like the textbook that we were given for class. So we were going off of scanned pages of his book that he wants to use for class. And he's like scan the pages and then email all of us those pages. Sometimes we didn't even get those pages because he forgot what our email was, or he spelled it wrong, or it's a big mess. But like 85% of the class was just on perspective drawing. Like, these classes are 11 weeks long. I know it might seem short for some people, but it is a very condensed course. But 85% of it was just perspective, and we didn't learn any animation, hardly any animation in that class. And so this was like a really big issue. And one of the instances, he didn't even know what the hell he was supposed to be teaching during that class. Like we had a section on shading a box. I mean, yeah, it would be super simple, and like the flaps are open, so you'd have to do all those drop shadows and stuff. But he didn't know how to do that. Luckily, I ended up reading the entire chapter on it, and I was practicing and stuff, but other people in my class didn't even bother reading it. Because it was just like, well, I'll learn it in class. So, when I come to class after, like, I already learned the material, Ray's not there because he doesn't want to come in there early. And so when other students start coming in, everybody's like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this drop shadow stuff. So eventually, when Ray comes in, he flat out says that he doesn't know how to do this stuff. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? So I got up, and I went to the whiteboard, and I was explaining what we were doing. Because that whole class period was just us doing drop shadows on a box. I mean, yeah, it would be super simple, because it's just a box. But it was kind of infuriating, because the teacher didn't even know what the material was. Another thing that he was doing was that he was, like, pushing his own artwork onto us. So he used to do, like, some character designs and stuff like that. That was his major. That was what his degree was character design, not animation. He even flat out told us that he knew nothing about animation. And so one of the things that he was doing, I keep remembering this, is that always when he is doing like character design or explaining how to design a character, he would always get out his sketchbook and start gloating, saying that, oh, I did character designs for a big movie production. I think it was like Box Trolls or something like that. Something that I didn't end up watching because I didn't like that style. And so he would sit there for like an hour just explaining how good his work was and that we needed to do really simple designs. But that's not how you teach people. You do not force somebody to use your own design in order to get a grade. That is not how this class works. And the next thing that he ended up not doing very well at all is critiquing. So usually when we do a critique, it was like every other day that we had to do a drawing. Me, being an overachiever, I like doing over-the-top stuff. Like there is a car drawing that I did on my iPad, and I'll put up a picture of it and I'll show you guys. But it was kind of an older drawing because this was like a year or two ago. And so what we do is that everyone comes in, and then we put all of our drawings on the desktop before class starts. And so then we go up one by one and show our picture and show our process and explain what we were doing and for perspective on how like the shadows work and the color schemes and stuff. And so he didn't know how to do critiques, or like he's never sat in on one because, okay, so this is what my experience was. So I would go up there and I put my artwork on the computer. Then I put this car up, and he told me that I need to work on the background, or that he's really disappointed in me for the background. I mean, I made this glorious car. I spent most of my time drawing the car. That's why the background doesn't look very good. But he was just so pissed about this background. I mean, yeah, I kind of rushed the background, and it's not really my best work, but he wouldn't stop talking about it. Like, holy crap. I mean, yeah, you already said that the background looks bad. I got that. I told you I didn't have very much time to finish it. But you keep harking at me about stupid background and not even bothering to talk about the car that I spent so much time on. And that's not even the worst part. So, every time that I did a critique with my artwork on the board or anything that had to do with my artwork. And so whenever I put my stuff on the board, he would always tell me that he hated my style. He hated it. Like there was one drawing, and I'll put it up if I find it, is of one of my characters, Sapphire and Cole. It's one of my comic that I wanted to do, but I ended up dropping it because I got so busy. I mean, yeah, before you start saying, oh, well, you copied Edward. Yes, the only thing that I referenced off of for Edward was Cole's hair, but I digress. And so, I put this artwork up there, and everybody was commenting about how good my perspective was in it, and everything, and then Ray starts saying that, well, this art style isn't very good. With this art style, you're never going to get a job. I'm just like, what? What? You're saying that I'm not gonna get a job because of how I draw? And he was talking about how America isn't as accepting of like an anime-esque drawing style, and that I wouldn't get a job because it's frowned upon. And I didn't know what to say because I was just so shocked. And meanwhile, I'm looking at my friend, I'm just gonna say her name because she's awesome. So I looked to my friend Kristen, who was next to me, and I gave her like the weirdest look, going like, what did he just say? And like my voice cracked as I was talking to her, and she even had a shocked look on her face as she like looked at me. And then she leans over and she's like, are you okay? And I'm just like, I shake my head and I was like, no, I'm not. And with my voice cracking, I basically told him, saying that this is how I draw. I can't just drop the style. I like nurtured this style off of anime because that's what I was influenced by. And he was just not having it. He just flat out told me that I should just drop the style and just start anew. And told him, was like, I can't do that. I cannot do that. It's always going to be a part of me. And after he let us go on a break after the critiques, I basically broke down. Because that is not something you tell a student who is an inspiring artist, saying that their art style sucks and they're never going to get a job in the industry. You do not tell that to somebody. Another issue that I had with him is that he always negatively critiqued my artwork. I mean, yeah, there were some things that I realized I needed to fix after I already turned it in. And I knew about those mistakes. But he would always talk about my color choice, my line art, my shading, my style. He would always analyze my drawings. Meanwhile, there was a student in our class who would rarely show up. And when he did, he'd always show half-finished stuff. But there was one time when he actually brought finished work, and it was for this neon skater thing that I don't know. I didn't like it. And he showed that instead of what the actual assignment was. So the actual assignment that we had was we needed to do a monkey, a drunk or a fool, a child, and an animal. Bigger was an animal. No, it was a hero. It's a hero. It wasn't an animal, it was a hero. But so we had those parameters. And so this guy, let's call him Don, he would, when he actually showed something of his artwork, it was this super neon colored thing, but he had like 3 neon colors in one design. And so I critiqued him and I told him that you need to desaturate a couple of these colors because it's really started to hurt my eyes. All this color is not good in the design. You can have one neon color that really stands out, desaturate the other colors a bit because it can really hurt somebody's eyes with those bright colors. And this is what I told him. And he was saying, well, I like it this way, so I'm keeping it. And so another person in my class, who was also named Kristen, started saying, well, I kind of like it. And then I hear Ray behind me saying, well, I think it's just a style choice, and then we should let him have it. I'm just like, boy, the hell are you talking about? You over-critique mine, but you under-critique his because you like the bright colors? Like, what the hell? And so my critique just got glossed over, and he took none of my opinions about it or any of my ways that you could fix the design. And I'm just sitting there laying my hand on my head, and I'm just like, what the hell's wrong with this class? I freaking hate this. And there was some issues with Artie that caused some school closures. And so when we found out about our main campus closing, Ray just gave up. Like, he just flat out gave up. So he basically was just saying that he's not gonna even try anymore because he's gonna leave at the end of the quarter anyways. So me and my friend Jeremy, we were just talking before and after class and going like, what the hell is wrong with this teacher? Like, another thing is that he always, whenever he was showing us examples of artwork, there were all of these artists that all of us hated their art. It was so ugly. Everything was in black and white. There was no color whatsoever. It was all scribbles, and we just hated it. But Ray thought it was like the greatest thing ever, and we just didn't get it. We just hated it. And I mean, we're students. We couldn't say anything to him. And he just was like praising these artists, saying that, oh, look at all this good art. But we spent like a good like maybe a week and a half just looking at these terrible artists. And he was just praising them, and he was saying, like, well, some of them got into magazines and stuff, some of them did art covers, and we're just like, how? All these are nasty. And he was just kept on praising them. And it was like belittling us, saying that we're never going to be as good as those people. And I don't want to be like him. I don't want to ruin my art. And so towards the end of the quarter, I just gave like 0 fucks about this class, like flat out. I just hated it. And so for like towards the end of the quarter, we had to make gifs of our characters One, Don never did. He just made up his own story. And with his own characters, didn't even bother following the criteria. But Ray liked him, so he got him an A. Meanwhile, I had to fight for mine. And so, we had to make these gifts. Sorry, I'm just doing random tangents here. I apologize. So, we're doing these random gifts. And we had to... Well, there were just really simple gifts that could be played on a loop and stuff. So basically what I just added to it was maybe like them blinking, a tail wagging, stuff like that. He didn't explain how to make them. We didn't know how to make them. I had to go look up YouTube tutorials on how to make a GIF. And that's when he told us that he just flat out knew nothing about animation. And we're just like, wait, so you are a teacher that is teaching advanced drawing for animation, but didn't know anything about animation? How the hell did you get hired? And that's when he told us that, oh, he's a graphic designer. And I'm just like, then why the hell are you teaching this class? You have no qualifications for this class. And so, like, making these GIFs, I basically, like, I just didn't care anymore. I made the backgrounds in my iPad, and I drew the characters in Photoshop, but I didn't really move them at all. Like I said, I just made them blank, or I made, like, a tail wag or something like that. I just gave up, like, the last couple weeks. And the teacher gave up too, so not like I could do anything about it. And so, now that reminds me about the time that he was just changing class time and just moving it later and later and later. So we actually told our academic advisor because we were just pissed. Like, we're paying like thousands of dollars for this class. And we're not getting the education that we need. So we told our academic advisor, let's just call him Lay. All the Y names. So we told Lay, and so he just got pissed. And so he called Ray out and was saying, you cannot change the time of this class. So the next time we had class, all of us got there, like, on the designated time, the original time, which was about 8 o'clock. And so we got there on time. And then Ryan comes in about 5 minutes late, saying like, sorry I'm late, it was just terrible waking up this morning. And then he sat down and he said, okay, now which one of you told Lay on me? And we all just looked at each other. We didn't bother saying anything. And that's when he said, if you have a problem with my class, you have to email me first. Don't go to Lay. And we're just like, if you're not doing anything about it, we're gonna go to Lay for it. Because you're obviously not teaching us. And so that was my experience that I had with this terrible teacher. Luckily, I'm pretty sure this teacher doesn't work there anymore. He quit after the quarter of teaching us. Because how he said it was that it was a sinking ship and he wanted to get off as soon as possible. Basically abandoned us and didn't give a shit. So, if you guys have any teacher stories that you want to talk about, you can just put it down in the comment section, and so if you like this video, like and subscribe for more. I will probably make a few more of these rant videos. And this is actually the first time that I am actually talking to you guys. I am not used to my voice. My voice is actually getting kind of dry right now. And so if you guys like my voice, then tell me. It actually means a lot. So one of the things I forgot to mention is that my little sister actually had Ray as a teacher. He did sort of a high school, college thing. My little sister was still in high school, and she took courses at Artie as, like, college credits. So that's what she had him as a teacher. And he was treating her like shit, too. Like, he was treating her, like, exactly how he was treating me. And I don't know if he thought that we were, like, the same person or something, but he was treating her really harshly for her style and just the way that she was working. I don't know if it was just us, but I thought I should, like, mention that, because that's another thing that Ray did. I'm gonna put on some music for the rest of this video, so I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!